One Zambia, one nation. Good evening and a very warm welcome to the main news at 18 hours on ZNBC TV2. To present it, my name is Mutukwa Moya. The headlines. 2 people have died in a road traffic accident along Great East Road in Lusaka. Still in the news, President Edgar Lungu has allocated 10% of his salary to the Marketeers Empowerment Fund. Plus, in sports, the under-20 boys and girls national handball teams will tomorrow be hoping to wrap up of the Group Stage Handball Federation Zone 6 tournament with a win when they play their last group matches in Johannesburg, South Africa. Thank you so much for joining us. And now the TV2 News at 18 hours in detail. 2 people have died in a road traffic accident along Great East Road in Lusaka. RATSA Head Public Relations, Frederick Mubanga, says the accident, which involved 2 public service vehicles, happened last night. Mr. Mubanga says both vehicles were heading into town from Charleston direction and were racing, trying to get ahead of each other. He said the accident happened when the driver of the Toyota Hiace registration number ALJ 2998 changed lanes at high speed, thereby hitting into another Toyota Hiace registration number AIB 1049. Mr. Mubanga says 2 people died instantly after the vehicles flipped, while others were injured. He said those who were injured are admitted at Levi Manawasa Hospital. Mr. Mubanga says the driver of the bus that caused the accident ran away but was later apprehended. Still in sad news, fire has swept through 2 shops in Lusaka's Kamwala trading area, destroying property worth millions of kwacha. The fire, which is suspected to have started shortly before midnight, was only quenched by the fire brigade officers that arrived at the scene hours later. Take a look in this report.
Everything has been completely gutted. The shop owner has absolutely nothing to salvage from here. Property worth thousands of kwacha has been reduced to ashes in a fire that is suspected to have started shortly before midnight. Both the shop owner and workers here received phone calls around that time, alerting them on this sad development.
So some people is calling me. I come till 3 hours, but already fire is finished. So I check inside, everything is finished. Just so.
Uyu muliro stiza time na mboneka amba usiku. Tisteze kunyumba kasi zwa vilivonse tambira sewa neba ndio tumira fonda. Shop yatu ikupya na mwanu. Mboneka muchoka checking amuneba umya ya pya maningi makatundu. So panta boyira kusena tambo tusha makatundu mbatia.
The next shop was also affected, but luckily, most of the property was still intact. Access to these shops was almost impossible as the doors were locked. Habenzu Mulunda is Lusaka City Council Public Relations Manager.
The challenge we had was to have access to the shop itself because it was actually very, very much locked. So we tried by all means to have entrance through the door. It was impossible. So the officers had to break the windows to try and prevent the fire from spreading to other shops. That we managed. Suffice to say that unfortunately nothing could have been salvaged at the time when we were getting to the scene. But our officers are trying to find out what the problem is and where the fire could have started from.
And by press time, some men were busy trying to force the door open. The cause of the fire has not yet been established. The shop owners are yet to establish the cost of the property lost. Lufola Nkowani, TV2 News in Lusaka.
Edgar Lungu has allocated 10% of his salary to the Marketeers Empowerment Fund. Presidential Marketeers Fund patron Chanda Kawe has disclosed this, saying President Lungu has set an example by allocating part of his monthly salary to fund the initiative aimed at helping vendors and marketeers. And Mr. Kawe says the Presidential Marketeers Fund has put systems to monitor the inflow of the funds to allow more marketeers benefit from the initiative. Mr. Kawe, who is also Kitwe District Commissioner, was speaking during National Watch program on ZNBC TV1 today.
This is an initiative of the President, that the President, for the sake of the public, the President is releasing 10% of his salary towards this fund. The President says every month when I get my salary and the family, we take 10% to church for tithe. We take another 10% to help the poor.
A total of 20%
exactly.
out of his salary.
A person who is helping out of his pocket should be recommended. So if people want to condemn what somebody is doing out of his goodwill, we have seen how many people are rich in this country and those who are aspiring for a political office, not taking money to help the poor, but taking money to confuse young people, to cause confusion in this country. Are those people you want?
Meanwhile, over 8,000 marketeers and vendors from 7 provinces have so far benefited from the Presidential Marketeers Funds that was introduced in October last year. Mr. Kabwe says the remaining 3 provinces that include Lusaka, Southern and Central will be targeted starting in October. And Vendors and Marketeers Association President Ebo Chikwa praised President Lungu for helping the less privileged in society. UPND leader Hakainde Hichilema has suspended and charged his vice president for politics, Canisius Banda, with gross misconduct. Mr. Hichilema alleges that Dr. Banda has been issuing inflammatory, derogatory and defamatory statements against other senior party members. Mr. Hichilema also says Dr. Banda has been quoted by a named newspaper in 2 separate editions where he allegedly issued statements that have brought the name of the party into ridicule and public odium. In his letter dated September 22, 2016, addressed to Dr. Banda, accessed by ZNBC, Mr. Hichilema has given him 7 days from the date hereof in which to exculpate himself pertaining to the charge leveled against him. He said Dr. Banda will therefore not perform his duties as Vice President for Politics pending the determination of this matter by the party's National Management Committee. And responding to ZNBC News in a phone interview, Dr. Banda says he has not yet received any letter from the UPND. He, however, said that he is still Vice President for Politics in the UPND and that there is no evidence of him belonging to any other party. Dr. Banda says he has not met any senior PF official, nor has he been offered money or a job by the Patriotic Front. He says the UPND is currently going through what he terms post-election state of insanity. Dr. Banda says there has been a lot of paranoia in the party after the 2016 general elections. He says he has served the party diligently and deserves respect from party members. Dr. Banda, however, says he will give a comprehensive statement after he receives the purported letter. Government has terminated the contract for African contractors engaged to construct phase 3 of the new Mkushi District Hospital, and Health Minister Chitalu Chilufya has given ZEFEC a 1-month ultimatum to speed up construction works of phase 2 of the hospital to enable the health institutions to start operations. He said this during a tour of the 26 million kwacha new district hospital under construction in Mkushi District. More in this report.
This is the only government district hospital in Mkushi District. Mkushi District Hospital, with a 72-bed capacity, serves a population of over 157,000 people. However, things will change for the better as the government has embarked on a massive infrastructure development program to construct medical facilities closer to the people.
The infrastructure itself at the old hospital is not supportive to house more than 70 people, and we receive a number of clients here at times who have to be on the floor beds and the like, yeah, of which we're looking forward to having a new and properly designed district hospital.
However, works at the new district hospital are slow. This is why Mkushi residents are urging government to speed up the construction of the new district hospital.
So muntu nganaisana alwala olonomba ba doctor maybe ba clinic officer bali busy mwala sanga tulo muntu afuila palaini so tulelomba government yakwe bati bakule bwangu church patala twambye okuya kufwe bantu and then bengisheko na mawekazi abengi ma health workers.
Health Minister Chitalu Chilufya visited the construction site of the new district hospital.
African Contractors was given a contract to build phase 3 of Mkushi District Hospital. and they took possession of site in June 2015. They were given an advance payment of 20% of the contract sum, but progress made so far is very little. Repeated engagement with the contractor has yielded nothing, so government is terminating this contract. Now, this should also serve as a warning to other contractors in government that they should be accountable to the people of this country. We hold resources and trust for the people of this country. When you're given a contract to build public infrastructure, it's in the broader context of enhancing development, of bringing services closer to the people.
Dr. Chilufya, however, wants the contractor engaged to carry out the construction of Phase 2 of the district hospital to speed up the works.
We have procured some equipment, and some equipment is in transit, and we are ready to start operating this hospital. So the infrastructure must just be made ready quickly. That's why we only give the contractor 4 weeks in which to complete the project.
Once operational, this hospital will decongest the existing hospital and also improve access to medical services. Ruth Mwale, ZNBC News, Mukoshi.
First Lady Esther Lungu says she will advocate for a marriage bill to be tabled in Parliament in order to protect girls from getting married at an early age. Mrs. Lungu said there was need to reduce the number of girls getting married at an early stage, especially those in rural areas where cases are high. The First Lady was speaking in an interview with Zanis in New York yesterday. She has since commended traditional leaders who are retrieving girls from marriages and taking them back to school. And Mrs. Lungu has disclosed that she will soon resume her outreach program, focusing on issues to do with early marriages, people living with disabilities, women and albinos. She added that her agenda in the next 5 years will also focus on women entrepreneurship, especially those that are into farming. The First Lady is in New York attending the 71st United Nations UN General Assembly and has also held bilateral meetings with different organizations. Just now we take a break, but still ahead in the news. Residents of Lusaka's Mtendere and Helen Kaunda townships reject setting up of garbage storage shed at Vera Chiloba Primary School. Plus other stories, keep watching TV2. Welcome back to the news. Residents of Lusaka's Mtendere and Helen Kaunda compounds have rejected the setting up of a garbage storage shed at Vera Chiloba Primary School. The residents complained to TV2 News that the setting up of a storage shed 2 meters away from classrooms would defeat the purpose of the project. And when contacted for a comment, Mtendere Ward Councillor Whiteson Mtonga said the garbage storage shed is being built at a central location in Mtendere Ward to ensure everyone benefits from the project. Details in the following report.
The much detested garbage in Mtendere has now turned into gold as a recycling plant has been set up. The firm is buying garbage for recycling. The project is meant to separate, recycle, and reuse solid waste, thereby sorting out waste management issues in the compounds. This project will improve waste management in the compounds and sustain the livelihood of the residents. Area Councillor Whiteson Mtonga is happy as the project will put money into people's pockets.
The garbage which is lying idle in our community should now fetch money, and the community is able to benefit when they bring the garbage to the selling points where they will be earning some few coins, or rather the families will be benefiting, the families of Mtendere. And as you have seen, it is something which will be in a very conducive environment where the Zambia breweries are constructing this. They will bring 2 containers, and these containers, this is where the garbages will be put in place en route to being recycled.
As much as people are happy with the project, they also have concerns. They're not happy with where the garbage storage shed is being constructed. The shed is being constructed right next to Vera Chiloba Primary School.
I think it's a good project. But now it has been misplaced, because where they want to put this project up, it will expose the houses to to garbage here. It will expose, you can see there's a classroom block here. This classroom block will also be exposed to this garbage.
It's not healthy for children or manyumba ya mine yadi hapa. Stifunika kupangira hapa.
Doesn't make sense because there's a lot of children at the same school. So you can't put a garbage storage at the same place, which is bad.
I really don't think it's a good idea because the garbage that will be stored here will be kind of like distracting the kids, which will entirely will be disturbing them from their lessons, because no one would concentrate in a smelly environment.
For now, the children at this school have to endure with the stench that will come with garbage storage shed. Teofista Lungu, TV2 News in Lusaka.
An erratic shortage of water has hit Freedom Clinic in Chilanga, and the clinic is on the verge of being closed because it has no source of water. The water crisis follows the decision by a company that was assisting the clinic to cut water supply to the health facility. More in this report.
Out just at the top of a hill is Freedom Clinic, which caters for medical needs of residents here. But the clinic has no water. This has been the case for the past 3 weeks after a company that was supplying free water cut its service.
Dandaro yatu kapena vuto yatu pano pa kliniki isendisema volunteer. Choyamba kliniki yatu ilibe matoileti ya panja.
Manzi ndiye chintu chikulu chamene chativuta pano. Ndaba manzi kwamene titapa pa time ino kuti tikiline pa kliniki yatu iyi. Titapa kumanyumba huku kwa meti mainda kukashita bwanchi kukatapa manzi.
Kuno manzi amna bwera kuno wana blocking so kupatbe manzi. So chantipemba kuti abukuru ba government tipemba ko kuti batandizireko batipase boya tunaise kuno. Chakuti naise tinkale na clinic yatu atifakireko ero ikulireko clinic.
Meanwhile, Lilai Ward 4 Councillor Muhammad Mutete has said solutions to address the problem are already underway.
Initially we thought maybe it's a pump problem. But later when we came just to discover that it's not a pump, it is the connection of water from the tap company to the clinic. So now we are looking forward that the Water Trust and also the Ministry of Health will come on board. We sit down and see the way forward in the quickest possible time.
It is hoped that stakeholders will help address the water problem at this institution. Kabembe Kasabula, TV2 News in Lusaka.
Southern Province Minister Edify Hamugale is happy with measures put in place by government through the Zambia National Service, ZNS, to curb the smuggling of maize into neighboring countries. Dr. Hamugale says the ZNS in the province has intensified checks on all routes and areas to ensure there is no smuggling of maize out of the province. He says the Zambia Revenue Authority, ZRA, is also on high alert against any possible smuggling of Zambia's staple food. Dr. Hamugale was speaking in Livingstone today when he called on Livingstone Acting District Commissioner Harriet Kawina.
I'm very happy that Zambia National Service is already mounting roadblocks everywhere to ensure that smuggling of maize is brought to the minimum levels or reduced, and preferably even brought to zero. You may wish to know that Zambia in Southern Africa is the only country that had a bumper harvest. And so the pressure is so high from neighboring countries to access maize from here. And please advise the Ministry of Agriculture and our colleagues at the borders, ZRA, to ensure that they are on super alert concerning the issue of maize and other food products, not to leave the country. Otherwise, we'll really land in problems.
Preparations for the installation of Warson Kalumba as mayor for the city of Lusaka have started. A check by TV2 News at Nakatindi grounds at the Lusaka Civic Center found several people busy working. Councillors are also expected to hold a council meeting on Monday morning before installation of the mayor and deputy mayor. Roma Ward Councillor Chilambo Chitambala went unopposed on Friday for the position of Lusaka deputy mayor. Ms. Chitambala went unopposed after Nkoloma Ward 1 Councillor Tasila Lungu withdrew her candidature on Friday. Ms. Lungu had filed in her nomination of deputy mayor on Thursday. Lusaka City Council Public Relations Manager Havenzu Mulonda says the installation of the mayor and deputy mayor respectively is open for all members of the public. And on a sad note, ZNBC's camera person, Monica Nyambe, has died. Ms. Nyambe died yesterday at the University Teaching Hospital, UTH, after an illness. ZNBC Public Relations Officer Mpunga Simukwai confirmed this in a statement to TV2 News today. Mrs. Mukwai says Ms. Nyambe joined ZNBC in 2013 as a camera person, a position she held until her untimely death. She says ZNBC management and staff will miss her for her dedication to duty and the hard work she displayed when called to duty. The funeral is being held in Chalala Township. We take another break. Foreign plus sports news coming after this break. Keep watching TV2. And now the rest of the news. We start with foreign. A suspect sought over a fatal gun attack at a shopping center in Washington State on Friday evening has been captured. Police have named him as Aikan Setin, 20, of Oak Harbor, Washington. He was born in Turkey, and officials say he is a legal U.S. permanent resident. The arrest took place in Oak Harbor, a town southwest of Burlington, where the shooting happened. 5 people were killed inside Mercer's department store at Cascade Mall. So far, police say they know of no motive for the shootings. And finally, in sports, the under-20 boys and girls national handball teams will tomorrow be hoping to wrap up this group stage of the International Handball Federation's On 6 tournament with a win when they play their last group matches in Johannesburg, South Africa. The boys will take on Mozambique while the girls will entertain Botswana. Prince Chiuni reports from South Africa that the games, which were supposed to be played today, were postponed due to safety reasons following threats that students from Witwatersrand were planning to ambush the venue because their grievances are not being addressed. Both the boys and girls teams have already qualified to the semi-finals, and tomorrow's games are meant to determine which country will finish second of their respective groups. The Zambian boys will either play South Africa or Malawi in the semi-final, while the girls will face either Mozambique or Malawi. We've come to the end of the TV2 main news at 18 hours, but before I go, here's a recap of the headlines. 2 people have died in a road traffic accident along Great East Road in Lusaka. Ratsa Head Public Relations Frederick Mubanga says the accident, which involved 2 public service vehicles, happened last night. President Edgar Lungu has allocated 10% of his salary to the Marketeers Empowerment Fund. Presidential Marketeers Fund patron Chanda Kawe, who has disclosed this development, says President Lungu has set an example by allocating part of his monthly salary to fund the initiative aimed at helping vendors and marketeers. In sports, the under-20 boys and girls national handball teams will tomorrow be hoping to wrap up the group stage of the International Handball Federation Zone 6 tournament with a win when they play their last group matches in Johannesburg, South Africa. The boys and girls will take on Mozambique. The boys will take on Mozambique while the girls will entertain Botswana. We've come to the end of the news at 18 hours. But if you can join us for another detailed bulletin at 20 hours right here on TV2, the Pulse of Television. This is Mutukwa Moya. Good evening.